Okay, can you hear me at the back? Okay. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for the next folks from the track 1 session to come down here. How many of you were there in that session? Okay, that's done, right? Okay, while we wait for them, just a quick audience poll. How many of you have edited maps before? By editing, I mean added some detail on map or corrected. Okay, not everybody, right? Okay, great. How many of you are here for the Maps API session? Are keen to know more about API? Okay, thank you. So, for folks who came from the track 1 session, there are so many cool things that is happening in the world of maps, right? And for all that to happen, there is something that is more basic and more fundamental that needs to happen, which is we need to put the data into maps, and that data comes in through a multiple number of sources, which is you've seen aircrafts flying, images of the various cities, we have satellite imagery that we procure, we have operators that draw maps. And for many of you who don't know, we've invited some of the most prolific mappers in Chennai, and it is these folks who have made the maps of Chennai what it is today, right? So a round of applause. There are a few turned up here, but thanks a lot for all your work. Before I proceed, I'd like to tell you a story, a very small story. This is the Bandra Sea Link highway. This is an iconic landmark in Mumbai. Mumbaikars are very proud of it because this connects South Mumbai to North Mumbai and clears the clears a major bottleneck that is between Bandra and Worli. It has taken them 12 years to build this. Right? This project was conceptualized in 1999. It is completed in 2011, late 2011. It has taken 12 long years, huge cost overruns, thousands of people working from the planning, commercial people actually who constructed this road, the bridge, right? And when this bridge was launched, it was a proud moment for all these people because this is a testimony of their contribution to Mumbai, right? It is a testimony of their contribution to the country, and what this bridge will do, it will connect millions of people are from North Mumbai to South Mumbai, and also passerbys who visit Mumbai will start using this bridge. This bridge hopefully should stand there for around 100 years or so. So by the time, this bridge would have helped millions of people save their time in moving from one place to the other. When you build digital maps, you're doing something very similar. So the small bits of information, the small roads, the small business points or the points of interest that you put on map is building an infrastructure. It's building an infrastructure based on which a whole lot of applications can now start running. It will start benefiting millions of users, not only in Chennai, but people who want to come to Chennai, people who want to know about information about Chennai, it starts benefiting all of them. So that is where the impact of editing Google Maps is. We are a big company. Large amount of resources go into building Google Maps. You must have heard Jen speaking. There are satellite imagery that we capture, few hundred aircrafts that go take low, high resolution imagery. There are street view cars that run to capture imagery. We have internal operator, thousands of them sitting and helping draw maps. And then there are users, right? But we are very humble about one aspect, that come what may, use all those resources, it won't be possible for us to map your neighborhood better than what you can do. Because the information that you have, we will not be able to process. We will never be able to tell that a road has been closed yesterday or this particular road has opened yesterday. So that is where your contribution comes in, and that is what we acknowledge, and the platform that we built helps you share the information that you have with the rest of the world. So how do we go and contribute? How do we go and contribute to the nation? How do we go and contribute to millions of users who can benefit? When you open Google Maps, this is what you see. On the left-hand panel, what you see is a white pane, and on the right side is the Maps view pane. It can either be in a satellite imagery form or in the maps view form, depending on what option you select. And if you look a bit deeper, what you see is there are 3 entry points which help you which help you edit maps. So the first one is put your business on Google Maps. So if you're a business owner and you want to be seen and searchable on maps, what you do is click this particular link. I will go into more details in the subsequent slides. 2 other links. One is report a problem. What this does is, if you find something is wrong in your area or the place that you visit, a hotel is there which is not supposed to be there, or a road direction is wrong, you can go and report that problem. That problem then comes to a set of few people who understand that area and then who will go about fixing it. And of course, third is edit in Google Map Maker. This is more of a power editing tool. This allows you to do far more than reporting problem or just putting a map, just putting a business on maps. It enables you to actually draw colonies, put lakes, roads, provide directions, a whole lot of those things. So in the course of the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Ideally, had we had time, I would have had a small map-up session where we would have shown how you practically start putting features. But because of lack of time, we won't be doing that. But there is a demo booth outside for those of you who are interested, can go there and start try your hand out, right? Adding your business on Google Maps. So this is a link that you click. Once you click this link, this is the screen that pops up. Now, what it advises you is that if you're putting your business on maps, it wants to caution you that do you want to put your own personal Gmail ID or you want to create a separate Gmail ID, because your business may grow and then you may want to delegate maintaining this particular listing to somebody else. So that's the tip that you get. And after that, it asks you for a phone number. The reason it asks for a phone number is that while you may not have put your business on maps, there may have been some users, like friends who have been contributing to maps, who may have already put your business on maps. And that business may now have some reviews which you're not aware of. So the moment you put this particular phone number, what it does is it checks whether this listing already exists. If it doesn't exist, it allows you to go and put. If it does exist, then it pulls out the listing with the phone number and shows it to you and says, is it any of these listings that you want to edit? Well, so assuming that your business was not on maps and you want to put that, once you put the phone number and click submit, there is a pop-up screen, and that screen asks for your name, your street address, your website, your email IDs, etc. Once you've done that, the marker on the map, that red inverted teardrop, what happens is it automatically aligns itself to the best area based on the address that you've given. Most of the time, if the address in that area mapping is good, it will align reasonably well, but otherwise you have the ability to move this marker to the correct location, right? After that, what happens is once you click submit there, it gives a verification code page, and this is where you can ask for a verification by phone or an SMS. These are options available to countries like India. And what happens is once you fill in a phone number, there is a call that is initiated from Google, and you will receive a call which will give you a verification code, and then you need to submit that verification code for this business to get auto-approved, right? In countries like US, where the courier and postal systems are far better, far developed, we have the option of sending a postcard to, and many people choose to use that. But in India, I wouldn't recommend going for that. Use your phone and SMS. So once you've added your listing, how does it look like? You saw a very nice version for those people who attended the Google Maps session in track 1. You saw a wonderful demonstration of what is possible with this place page, right? So this is a place page. This is a far more basic page which shows where your business is located. It gives the addresses. People have the ability to go and comment about your business. You can write details. So it's a mini web page. You can also add photographs, etc. So people can have a better feel. And if you want to take it even further, you can have something like a street view inside your shop. You can apply to Google for that. And if you are one of the selected categories, then we can even help you take a small street view kind of trike into your business and capture the interiors of your business so that users can visit your shop virtually before coming into your shop, right? Moving on, reporting a problem on Google Maps. It's very simple. There are a few entry points. So the first one that you see is on the right bottom corner of Maps. That report problem is to report a problem when you are in a generic pane. If you are in a Maps pane, if you are in that area and there is a street name is wrong or that imagery is poor, then you can click on that link which is on the right bottom corner of Maps. There is another way to report problem about a listing. In this case, this is Big Bazaar, what you see. So once you select Big Bazaar, there are a few options that pop up on the screen. And if you go down to more and you click there, a few options come up, and that is report. One of the options is report a problem. Once you click that, what it does is it asks you what exactly is wrong with that listing. It asks you whether the market location is correct, or it asks whether any of the details about the business, the name, website, phone number, any of those things are wrong. And then you can go about editing whatever information you think is you believe to be correct. You can report that, you can click submit after correcting that, and then that goes to an internal reviewer who could be an operator within Google or a trusted user amongst like you, somebody who has gained enough trust in the system. It can go to them and then they can review. Right? Coming to Google MapMaker, this is a power editing tool, and this tool has a history about it. This was conceived in India by the Bangalore engineers way back in 2006, and this is one of the most innovative products that has come out of Google. It's not been heard much, but the impact of this tool is that India has got its online maps primarily by virtue of this tool. So what you see in India has been created by users contributing through this tool. The impact is also that this is currently now live in 147 countries. For 147 countries, the third world countries which don't have very good digital maps, this is the tool that has given them their most popular online maps. And the great thing is that this was conceptualized, developed, and scaled out of the Bangalore office. Now, how do you get to Google MapMaker? There are a couple of ways. You can either type mapmaker.google.com on the browser, which will take you into the MapMaker tool, or you can go down once you zoom down enough into a particular area on Google Maps. There is a link that will pop up at the bottom right-hand corner, which is called Edit in Google MapMaker. Once you click that, it takes you to a tool which is something like this. Very similar to Maps, but you have a few options on top. So if you see on the top, you have a few options that are slightly grayed out. You see Add New, Edit, Review, Browse, right? Now, this is where, these are the tools through which you can edit a map. And if you're a new user, once you sign in, this is what comes up, right? This is the first splash screen that comes, and which will give you a very brief tutorial. It is very self-explanatory. Just go through the tutorial once. It will tell you how to add a place, how to edit a place, how to add a road, or how to add shapes. And even review. If somebody else is added in your neighborhood, you can even review that listing and say that whether that person was correct or wrong. So let's take this one by one quickly. Add a place is very similar to adding a business. Once you click on that particular link, it's something very similar to add your business. The only difference being, in this case, it is not the business owner who's adding that business. It is users like you who knows that there is a subway that has come up in your neighborhood and you feel that you should add it up. You can go to MapMaker and start putting it. So you put that, for in this example, there is Just Cafe. You put in the name, you put the address, phone number. If there is a website, you put that. Once you've done that, you click submit. This is how the listing will look. Instead of a red teardrop, it will appear as a yellow teardrop on MapMaker. What this means is this is pending review. You have submitted it, and now the system doesn't know you're a new user. System doesn't know that you whether your edits are correct or wrong. So it shows it for review, and then users, expert users who over a period of time gain trust in the system, they can go check this out and say, yeah, I live in this area. I know there is this Just Cafe that has come down here. Let me approve this. Right? So once they approve, then it goes live. It becomes a red teardrop, and that then gets pushed instantaneously onto Google Maps and is now available for millions of users to start viewing viewing that on maps, start searching it on maps, find directions to that location, right? Of course, while rendering happens instantly, appearing on search and appearing on directions might take a few days for the engines and indexes to pick it up. Drawing roads. So the other option is you go click or draw a line, and when you click that, what happens is your cursor changes to a small cross. You put it where you want the road to start, and then draw the road. And once you click enter, the left-hand panel pops up. And on that left-hand panel, what you can put is name of the road. You can put various details. You can put whether this is an expressway or whether this is a local road. You can put number of lanes that road has, number of directions that the road has, whether it is a gravel road, whether it is a tarmac road. All those details you can put. And how it helps is, it helps when people are being routed on this road, your speed, the lanes, etc. that you give helps determining what is the priority direction that map should pick up and show to users. Can you give the mic? Sorry. Yeah, I'll take one question, but I'll finish this and then I'll get back to all the other questions. I'll just take this question.
I have made like 4,000 edits in Google Mapmaker.
Yeah.
And mostly I'm concentrated on my district, and which is Tirunnamalai and Vellore district. I'm sure
Yeah.
that I edited almost 98% of villages in Tirunnamalai district. Something I find really problematic here is when a person enters the road, even for a local road, the average speed is entered as 100 kilometers or 80 kilometers.
Yes.
And there is no ground level verification or some basic verification for even like data like population.
Yeah.
If I enter data, I take data from census, but most people, even for a small village, they just enter like 25,000 or 35,000, whereas the actual population data will be 3,300.
Yeah. So you're right, absolutely right. So the challenge there is when the application was designed at that point of time, the population was given by the size of the village, which is not a very good thing to do. It works in some areas, it does not work in other areas.
Especially in India, it doesn't work.
Mainly in India, it doesn't work. So we're aware of this problem. We are in the process of fixing it. You should see some fixes in the near future. Okay, I'll take more questions, but let me run through this. I'll take a lot of questions after, right? Okay, so similar to this, once you've drawn the road and once you click submit, it appears something like this as a yellow teardrop, which shows that it is pending, and now it is available to the user reviewers or internal reviewers to go review that road and approve it, right? Third aspect is draw shape, and drawing a shape is you can draw a ground, you can draw a university campus and call that area a university. Or you can draw a particular building to say that building is a mall, right? It can even be a small building, an independent house to say it is just a building, right? So polygons have various uses. It helps render buildings and campuses. It also helps render locality boundaries. So if you have a sub-locality here, a neighborhood locality or a village or a city, and you want to draw which is the area that encloses it, polygons come in handy. Polygons also come in handy if you want to draw a water body like a lake, small lake or a pond. It helps in help by using a polygon, right? So these are various examples of what people have used to make used polygons to map. So that was all about adding different features on maps. Next is editing. Like, it's very similar to adding. So any feature that is there on maps, if you think that that has got wrong information, you can go select that particular point by right click and saying select find near this point. It will pop up various icons of objects that are there. It could be roads, it could be businesses. Select the right business, and once you click on it, it brings up the left-hand pane, very similar to what you saw for ad. And there, what it does is, while you have to fill in details for add a business, in this particular case, it pre-populates all those attributes, right? And then you can go about changing any of those. Similarly, once you click submit, it will again go for a review. In case you're a new user, in case you've gained trust in the system, it can go auto live. So what can you do with MapMaker? These are live examples of what users have done. These are some users who've gone and mapped their entire neighborhood, drawing the roads, naming the roads, putting in house numbers for their neighborhood, drawn the shape of the buildings to render a beautiful map. This is another example wherein a user, this guy was an avid golfer, has used polygons to mark the entire golf course, mark the various bunkers and obstacles that are there, and also to the extent of drawing where exactly the hole is on each of the greens. So this is all done using MapMaker. MapMaker is also an excellent crisis management tool. This was when Cyclone Nargis hit Myanmar in 2008. So what you see on the top left corner is the map of Myanmar when cyclone hit. This is all that Google had about Myanmar. So there was an appeal that was sent out by UN asking Google if Google could help, and Google in turn reached out to the user community, folks like friends here who map, and told them, hey, we need to map Myanmar because there's a cyclone that has hit. So what Google helped was immediately got the latest satellite imagery, put that on maps, and then the user community came in and mapped. And what you see on the right-hand side is 1 week later, Myanmar had a very different match. That's the impact that users had. And how it helped organizations like UN and Red Cross was using those maps, they could put all those small icons that you see. Those are the icons which represent various medical camps, relief centers, and their own Red Cross institutions. So they used a Maps API on top of Google Maps to add that. So users and relief institutions could find exactly where they needed to send supplies to or whom to contact in what area. Right? So I more or less come to my very brief session on editing Google Maps. We were supposed to have a small map-up session post this, but shortage of time, we are not doing that. There will be a small demo pod outside where you can go and try your hand at mapping. So this is Madurai in 2008. This is all done by users. I would like to show you what impact users like friends sitting here have made on the city. Okay, while some Murphy issue. So while it is loading, I can take a few questions. Yes?
Can we add inside maps using this MapMaker tool? I mean, is it possible in India to do that?
What maps?
Inside maps, that is like how it was showed in the first session. The
Indoor
building
maps.
plan, etc. Flow maps.
Indoor maps, not yet. We haven't opened it out, but in near future, yes. Nadeem, are we?
Hello.
We should be able to. So not now, right? But in future. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse
Can you
me.
please use the mic?
Here is one
Because
question.
I can hear a lot of sound from the
Hello.
right there. Please use the mic.
My question is about the image resolution and quality. In India, you will find most of the spaces that are not metropolitan city or some areas, rural areas, the resolution is very bad, like 10-meter resolution or 20-meter resolution image is what provided. You generally source from Digital Globe and GeoHi, I think.
Yeah.
What is the timeline that you actually update these maps regularly? What is the year, like every year or every 6 months? So it will be better useful for guys who use MapMaker.
So the philosophy, there are various prioritization models that we follow to see which areas should get the high resolution images. And to be frank with you, the priority so far has been getting a lot of other countries, high priority countries which have got high online population, to get them mapped, get them to a level of mapping. This year, India is on priority, so we're trying to get the maps of India, taken to a very different level. Yes, absolutely. So this year, so some few months back, couple of months back, the whole effort has started. So you will start seeing imagery improving drastically over the next few months. So, so far the imagery request of other countries where online population was higher was on priority. So that is why you saw this long waiting period. But now you will start seeing very significant improvement, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one question here.
Actually, what are all the places that we should not mark in this? For example, few persons they have included my house like this. So what are all the other places or what are all the places according to Google that has not to be marked down?
Yeah. So there are quite a few things that we avoid putting on maps. And one was an example that if you want to mark your own house, say Raghav's house or Manju's house or my girlfriend's house, we don't allow that because it has to be generic information. And two, that information, personal information, putting personal information may not be the most appropriate thing for you too, right? So we don't allow personal information. We also don't allow, there is a set of guidelines on what is, like for example, escort listings, porn, military sensitive areas, these are not allowed to be put on maps. So even if you put that, then our internal reviewers will be forced to take that down, and that negatively impacts your trust, right? But if you want to know more about it, there is a help center on map. If you click MapMaker help, it will show you the list of restricted items that you're not supposed to put, right?
Sir, excuse me.
One more question.
Yeah.
How do you edit images?
Images, you mean the satellite imagery?
No, there is a place near my house which the building is demolished, but in Google Maps it still shows up.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
In Google Maps, the place near my house still shows up even though the building is demolished. So, how do I change that image that saying that place is flattened out, or has it changed to another building?
Okay. So those cases, the imagery is old. We haven't had a fresh imagery because the building has gone away, right?
Is it possible for us to upload an image of the new place in that place?
No, images are not available because it's slightly more complicated than just putting an image there. Because when we put an image, it has to be kind of aligned to the exact lat long. It has to be stitched with the neighboring images to get that seamless experience. So images are not currently editable. But what will happen is, over a period of time, those images, we keep changing the images. It happens at a faster rate for cities that have high online population. It happens slightly at a lower rate for areas that are rural and don't have as much of online population, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Whenever we make a place mark, it shows in blue color.
Whenever, speak loudly please, there is a lot of
Yes.
noise from here.
Whenever we make a place mark in this Google Maps,
Yes.
customized place mark,
Yeah.
about our organization or whatever it is. So, how much time will it take to change the color? You told us this orange color, red color.
In case it is appearing as blue,
Yes.
you're probably using My Maps,
Yes.
right? My Maps is for your internal organization. You can share it with your friends. It won't be publicly available.
Okay.
If you have to make it publicly available, you have to use that edit on MapMaker, that link at the bottom right. So once you put that, it can go through. If you're a new user, it depends on how fast your edit is reviewed by others. And if others don't pick it up, users don't pick it up, internally we have more or less by 48 hours or so, it should get reviewed and start getting published. So about 2 to 3 days. Yeah, that is because if you edit a large polygon, we need to check it up with resources, right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's connect more offline. I would like to hear more about it.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I stop someone is editing my content for the map? Like if I put some content just about some cafe or something, can I stop making someone else to edit it?
No, that's the whole concept of wiki, right? So if you stop that, then you can never stop, you never know which is right and wrong. So it is open, and our experience has been that if you put genuine information on maps, most of the users generally allow that to remain. But if that information is wrong, like for example, you go visit a place and you think a particular restaurant was at a particular place and you dropped it, with your complete intention being to put the right place, with that restaurant at the right place, but it may be off by a few meters. So you need to allow the users, other users in that area to correct that to the exact point. So we don't allow, we don't restrict others from editing.
I have a couple of questions. So one of the things is how many approvals does it take, and from what level of moderators for an edit to go from orange to red?
Depends on the risk of the feature, right? For example, if your editor is on a national highway, the risk of any change on that is much higher, right? So it might take multiple approvals. Okay. If it is in a rural area, or let me give you another example. If it is in a highly searched area, for example, in Bandra, there are so many restaurants. That's a highly searched area. So the risk of that area is slightly higher. So if you go and put a feature there, it might need a few approvals. Maybe one, maybe two, depending on what you put again. If you put maybe just a restaurant or something, it might go with one approval.
Even for trusted map makers who have been map making for quite some time?
Even for trusted, it can happen even for a trusted moderator. Okay. Right?
The second thing is, what about concerns of volatility of data? For instance, what Google is doing here is something encompassing. For instance, you are doing indoor mapping.
Yeah.
At the same time, you are doing indoor camera, that is imagery.
Yeah.
At the same time, you are doing street view.
Yeah.
And when you consider and satellite imagery, so when you consider each of these points, as somebody pointed out, buildings might be destroyed, and in certain other areas, the roads might change, or they might be closed, or bridges might change. So how is Google planning to update this on a regular basis for areas that they have considered as important?
Yes. So that's where the biggest and the best resource is users like you. There are a ton of users who come and say that, hey, this particular road does not exist anymore, or has been closed, or this building has been demolished, and so the businesses there do not exist. So on MapMaker, if it is a trusted user who comes and reports that and gives, hey, I'm certain I was there yesterday and it is no longer there, we might just take that as feedback.
And is there a problem with trusting government agencies with regards to maps? Because, for instance, many sites, including Corporation of Chennai, doesn't have a proper outline of Chennai, even though it has changed in recent times.
Yeah.
Now, how is Google planning to tackle that? Because, for instance, you can't trust the government itself in many cases, and it will lead to number one, slowing down of data. Number two, stagnation of data.
Correct.
Because Chennai will remain the Chennai of 2004 instead of progressing to the Chennai of 2011. So, is there any sense in trusting the government as well, even though they are the official body for?
I completely go by what you say, that trusting government data, their maps, is probably not adequate.
They're more archaic.
Correct. They're more archaic. They're old. Things have changed, right? So we don't completely rely on those, right? Unless government says that this is being validated in the last census, that this was a particular boundary. So we rely on users, and that has been our biggest challenge in India, that you don't have authentic boundaries. But this year, with India being a mapping priority, there are folks within our organization who are working with various governments. So though the published website maps may be old, their ward boundaries, etc., internally, they may have maps that are more accurate. So there are some efforts going on.
And what about, with reference to this, what about boundary disputes? I mean, does Google have a way of supporting which country? Because Google get into a problem, right? For instance, in Aksai Chin and in POK, you also said that map makers who try to kind of edit the boundaries will get into a lot of issues in doing that. So how does Google work out this problem? Because recently also there was a problem wherein...
So Google follows UN convention to a large extent. So within India, and you would have heard this in the news at various points of time, So within India, when you search Akshay Chin and occupied Kashmir, as we call it, so it is shown as part of India. If you go outside, then it is shown as disputed territory. And they're not only for India and Kashmir, right? It is for all disputed areas. And I don't know whether you all have heard that there have been wars that have been fought because Google has drawn the boundary wrong, right? So Google acknowledges that as a sensitive issue, and we follow UN conventions there.
I have just one or two more questions.
I can take 2 more questions because I'm exceeding time. Yeah.
Is indexing a problem? I mean, the
Yeah, let's meet offline since we already answered. Yeah, that lady over there.
Can we notify, suppose an area being changed due to government blocks or something, and can we notify that it's not a permanent change, just for a few weeks, temporary change?
If there is a boundary or something that is changed just temporarily, we normally don't, if it is temporary, we don't accommodate. But if it is a road that is temporarily closed, there is a way to mark a road as temporarily closed. Did I answer that? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, actually, now just in Chennai, we can see metro works are going on.
Yeah.
Many roads, many ways have been changed. People get confused.
Yes.
So we can edit them on the Google. And can we notify whether they are just a permanent change till few weeks or few months?
You can. That is you can say that the road can be closed temporarily. Right?
Thank you.
And you can go to the demo pod. We have a few folks who are experts on this. They can help you, help show how that is done.
I have a doubt.
Okay, last question.
I tried to add a road in my area. I tried to add and just point to the line, blue line, and I just mentioned the name and the category. But when I mention that and click on the add, it's not getting added.
When you mentioned it was
the road.
Yeah.
I mentioned the road name and the type of the road and just click on save and it's not getting added. It's getting vanished for many times. I tried 3 days and it's not even added. It's not in pending or none of the status is there.
Okay. So it probably is a bug in that area, but just point that out to one of our folks.
Okay. And we update the maps in MapMaker.
Yeah.
Is it how long it take to get updates to the systems like mobile devices and all?
So it can go to maps depending on the risk of your edit. It can go instantaneously within a few minutes.
For example,
5-10 minutes.
Yeah, we're having for Apple iPhones, we're having the map application. So will it get reflected within soon or because Apple iPhone maps, I don't think it's getting updated soon.
On Apple, is it?
Yeah.
It takes 2-3 weeks for mobile devices. Okay.
Because Android gets updated soon, but not the Apple.
Not apps. Apple, is it?
The default app.
Okay.
Excuse
me. Yeah.
Final.
Okay, last question. After that, I'm available offline, and I haven't given mugs to anybody. I'm sorry. You got one? What about that gentleman there? Okay.
Can
the
I?
lady there? Okay.
Can I raise a question?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In my state, I am getting a new pizza corner. So I am editing in Google Map. I am getting a new pizza corner. I am updating in that. Will you give any appreciation for the user because I am giving a valuable information? Huh?
Yes, we do give. We do appreciate in various forms. So if you look on MapMaker at the bottom right-hand screen, you will find the most prominent contributors. So you have names that pop up at the bottom right-hand corner saying that who are the top 3 mappers in that particular area, right? That is one form of recognition. Other form of recognitions are initiatives like this where we'll start calling you and, probably have...
If I have in my name, means I will be very happy.
A name is there. You can check. So all MapMaker pane, your names are there. So if you can go down to your area, if you contributed enough, your name will be popping there.
Thank you.
Right? So, unfortunately we need to close so that I have enough time for you to go and have lunch. We will be available at the MapMaker pod, demo pod, which is right at the entrance. If you have more questions, please do come out there. And lastly, before I leave, for all the mappers of Chennai, thanks a lot for all your contributions. You're doing a great job, and we are quite excited to have you here. Hopefully we should start meeting again over the next few years, right? Thank you.